Hello everybody, welcome to another video. We start this one off with a little bit of a top tip to you newbie drivers. You older drivers should actually know this sort of stuff anyway. We're looking at this truck next to me, or just in front of me I should say. Now the lanes are quite tight. It's not going to get round that bend without using a bit of my lane, and it knows that because that's why it's hanging back from going up the front there, to not get in the way of them vehicles in front of it. So I'm doing the same. I'm holding back and letting him have that space in front of me instead of going up to the back of that van in front of me like say an Audi or a Fiat 500 would. So as I was expecting, it does use quite a bit of my lane, and I know that there's a bend coming up round here, so I'm just going to hang back again and let him take some of my lane. It sounds simple, doesn't it? But I've seen loads of dashcam clips where people just go up the inside there and get hit by the lorry. It's just so easy to avoid it. Now in this clip, some people, the unintelligent people, will probably call me a lane hogger, but I think I'm actually overtaking enough vehicles to say that I'm not a lane hogger, I'm just overtaking something. Obviously there's no bloody limit to how fast you have to do an overtake, and as you can see I'm just about to overtake this minibus next to me, but the action is behind me. For some reason a guy behind me seems to get the ump with me, and it's not because I'm not pulling over to the left hand side now. He was getting the ump with me as I was overtaking that van that I've just overtaken. So there he is in the middle lane there, miles back, flashing the hell out of me. Does he seriously expect me to move over behind the van that I want to overtake just so that he can have the middle lane? And there's nothing in his view, there's nothing in his way to stop him seeing that van that I'm about to overtake now to the right hand side of me as we're looking at it. And he's flashing, he's still flashing. I don't get it. What an absolute muppet. Now when we go to the front, I'm not going to pull over to the left hand side because I'm going to be overtaking this car. And then I'm going to be overtaking the van that's just pulling over to the left, and then eventually that car in front of that. But what's stopping that van now in the outside lane moving over? He ain't overtaking anything. Now here's the irony of the whole thing here. That car that just zoomed past me is now going to undertake him because the van is lane hogging the outside lane. So now I'm going to show you a couple of clips where there is lane hogging. A lot of people don't understand what lane hogging is. It's when you're not overtaking anything basically, and you're stuck out in the middle lane or the outside lane. Not when you're overtaking something. It doesn't matter if you're overtaking something quite slowly, as long as you're overtaking it. I mean obviously not too bloody slowly though. But this car in front, there's nothing in front of it. I can't actually see there's nothing in front of it, to be honest, until I start moving out. And it's just waiting there. There's nothing there. There's an inside lane. It's not overtaking anything down the road. Now me personally, I wouldn't have a problem with it if it was going anywhere near the speed limit, but it's probably doing about 55 miles an hour on a 70, which is too slow for the middle lane when you're not overtaking anything, that is. So the second one now. See it in the middle lane now? As you can see, I've just overtaken a lorry and I'm going to be catching that Audi to the left hand side of me pretty quickly. But you can see that there's nothing in front of that pickup truck. But look at the outside lane. Look what that pickup has caused in the outside lane. But he's not going to be moving over anytime soon, that's for sure. Now the thing is with this clip is that I'm getting in the way of this Audi because I can't get out to the outside lane. That Audi doesn't want to be there because he's catching up with the car in the inside lane. So I want to get past this bloody thing in front of me so I can release the Audi from where he is as well. We shouldn't have to do any of that. This guy in the middle lane should not be there. It's not even catching up with that bloody great big lorry on the left hand side. So when I do eventually find the room to get out and there ain't something zooming up next to me, I can pull out and go past it. Again, you move over to give it a little message, you know, you are blocking the middle lane, and it doesn't get it. Now a lot of you will be saying that I could have got out into the outside lane a lot quicker than what I did, and yeah, you probably do have a point. But when you look in your mirrors, you see someone zooming up next to you, you know, it does look a lot faster than what they are going sometimes. Now, as we come to the rear, I was right about the Audi. The Audi did want to get out, and I was blocking it because of this idiot in the middle, and it doesn't get it. It just doesn't get any of the messages. Now, I'm just going to run this past you just so you can see that once I get past that lorry, I do move over to where you're supposed to be when you're not overtaking anything. Now, the Audi moves over, but that pickup truck still doesn't get the message, and it's still not gaining on that truck. Now, in this clip, we're approaching a roundabout, and we've got our own little lane, our own little divider that takes us off of the roundabout, so we don't have to use the roundabout as a traditional roundabout. You can call it a slip road, you can call it whatever you want, I don't care. But you know what I mean, basically, don't you? I hope you do anyway. Anyway, we're coming off here, and as you can see, the vehicle in front of me has got a P on it. So he's just passed his test, or recently passed his test, and he's taking it easy. I ain't got a problem with that at all. He's going a little bit slow, but I prefer him to go slow than drive too fast for his capabilities at the moment. But behind me, I've got...
Shitting Peugeot, shitting Peugeot, shitting Peugeot.
Now, I shouldn't have to tell you this, but it's too close. It's obviously breaking the 2-second rule, and only a fool breaks the 2-second rule. Now, as we both pull off here now, this is a woman driving, by the way, who's got very little patience. She's been held up for a few seconds because of the guy in front of me who's got the P on the front of it. And it doesn't help matters now by getting in the fucking way of everything. We're coming up a slip road now. It's obviously not going fast enough. But, so where's it going to be when I want to pull out? Yeah, right fucking next to me. So, as we're looking here, I just want to show you that is the last line on the road. So, officially, it's one lane now. And do I really need someone that close to me as I'm about to pull out? Good timing. It was a completely pointless manoeuvre as she's still behind me anyway. She just got in the fucking way. Didn't make that look... Didn't make that easy for anyone, did ya? So we're going to go to the front camera now as she zooms past me, so eager to get into the outside lane. It's a 60 mile an hour speed limit, this road, and it's got cameras on, so you're not going to get very far away from anyone. It's, you know, not unless you're going to be speeding and getting a ticket. Is it worth it? But the reason I'm running this forward is we run into traffic, and is there anything more satisfying than seeing someone drive like that, so eager that they need to get in front of you that they end up being behind you because the lane that they're in has more traffic than my lane. There's a reason they're known as
Shitting Peugeot.
And the thing is, this lane actually breaks into two further down the road, and she wants my lane, so she ended up being a lot further back than what she was. So in this clip, I'm having a well-earned cup of coffee when this idiot passes me. I was a bit surprised that it had a back number plate. Them sort of people that do that sort of thing, they normally haven't got any number plates and they're all nicked. So I was a little bit surprised it had a number plate. Now, locals to Epsom Hospital will know that the front entrance can get absolutely chock-a-block sometimes. So you can get to it from the rear entrance here. Now, we are looking at this red car in front of us who's a bit of a numpty. Now, years ago, you used to be able to go in and out of this entrance, but in the wisdom of these people, they made it one way, which has obviously made the front entrance even more busier than normal. And with the problems with whatever it is in this place with the car parking, it all filters out onto the high street, and it can go on for nearly half a mile of the traffic to try and get into this bloody place. It's ridiculous, but you can get in this way as long as your passenger can walk, because you can't drive up the slope that's to the right hand side because it's one way and there's a no entry there. It doesn't matter to this guy here though in front of us. Now you'll see me drop off right in front of this zebra crossing. There's no zigzags. This guy in front of me is just, I don't know, he's looking around at something. He's obviously a bit lost. Now we go past this zebra crossing, and the next zebra crossing there, I'm just going to drop off my passenger who can actually, he can actually walk. Now you can see the big no entry signs there. Where the hell is this idiot going? Yeah. Suddenly realised it, or is he just gonna, I'm gonna park the opposite way round right there. I mean, the signs are clear enough, aren't they? Now, years ago, as we go to the rear camera now, you used to be able to drive down that street that I'm driving down now, but obviously there's no entry signs there as well. Powers that be seem to think it's a one-way system round the hospital that's going to make it a lot easier. Well, they've ballsed that right up, because it doesn't. It's slowed everything down, but they're too stubborn to change it back. Now, I'm still in Epsom for this next clip. I've been waiting in traffic for about 15 minutes because of temporary lights up here. And guess what the temporary lights are for? Yes, for an Audi to park in it. And another car, but always an Audi. A lot of work being done there, isn't there? Yep, the British workforce, they make all this traffic and then don't put any workers there to do anything. A lot of work being done there, isn't there? Now, in this next clip, I'm pulling out of the hospital again and driving down here when this numpty does this to me. Reverses out. Notice the gratitude, the thank you, the sorry, nothing. Absolutely nothing. And if you look to the left there, there is plenty of room for him to manoeuvre in there. He didn't have to reverse out. Look, that's what it looks like on Google. Plenty of room in there to move. But no, he reverses out onto a main road. Typical BMW, eh? So in this clip, we've got another Mr. Magoo. Yes, coming towards us. As you can see, these guys have no trouble staying in their lane. But you'll see a little red car coming towards us in a little while. Here he is, Mr. Magoo.
Roadhog!
And those of you old enough to remember, that was Mr. Magoo himself speaking there. Now, in this clip, it's the 15th of June, which is a Saturday. It's just coming up to 6:30 in the morning. It's a beautiful day out here. It's lovely and sunny. There's not many clouds about. I'm in Surrey where I live, so it's not too far away from me. There's hardly anyone out. There is no cars on the street at the moment because it's early in the morning and it's a Saturday. But me being me, I always find something, don't I? Always find something. I must be really unlucky, or these people just saved their idiot stupidness for me. So, with no one on the road, I get someone do this to me. Now, that guy would have been able to see me from so far back, but he still pulls out in front of me. Reverses out in front of me as well. There's no one on the road, but I can still fucking find an idiot. And yes, we do drive on the left-hand side of the road in this country, so maybe he's a Mr. Magoo candidate again, or he's just really lazy and doesn't bother looking at anything. Now, in this next clip, we're not looking at the road. Nothing happens dangerously on the road here. We're looking at the area more than anything else, about how industrial this area is. Behind me is Croydon. Yes, the best place for Croydon to be is in your rear view mirror. Trust me, what a shithole. Now, as we're coming up to this roundabout up here, if you turn right, you go into Mitcham. Yes, another shithole. And if you turn left, you go into Wallington, Carshalton and Sutton, as well as Beddington. This coming up is Beddington Lane as we come to this roundabout and turn left. It's called Beddington Lane. And I used to work down this road. And believe it or not, I used to cycle here most of the time before picking up the van and then going out and doing my deliveries for the council. I used to work for the council at the time. Now, all the way down this road again, it's all industrial. There's, as I said, there's a council depot down here where the people have the dustmen down here, dust lorries, there's vans, there's skip hires, everything. And this was crying out for this road to be widened, and they did widen it for a fucking bike lane for the thousands and thousands of bikes that ride down here. Yes, as you can see, there's the bike lane over there to the left. When I used to work down here, that wasn't there. That was just nothing there, and they widened it to put a bike lane there There's HGVs driving down this road constantly, absolutely constantly. And look, as over to the left, there's also a bus garage there. This is a little bit unfair, okay, because it is early in the morning, it is a weekend, it is a lot busier down here normally for traffic. I don't know about the bike lane, I really don't know about the bike lane, but this did make me chuckle because we haven't seen one bike in this lane all the way, and there he is. There's the one bike, and he's not even in the bike lane. You couldn't make it up, could you? You really couldn't make it up. So now we're back on the subject of lane hogging. If you look into the outside lane there, or lane 2, you will see a car there with a trailer on the back there. Why is it out there? Why is it out there? It's not overtaking anything. Everyone is undertaking it. Now, I can undertake it. I do know that this road is going into one lane in a second, and I'm not 100% sure that this guy, as he's a bit of a brain fart anyway, will look in his mirror to make sure that there's nothing there before pulling over, because it's his lane that goes into mine. And I haven't got any confidence in this guy actually looking in his mirror, signalling or anything. As it turns out, I was right. Whether he looked in his mirror or not, we will not know, but anyone who's stupid enough to be out there on the outside lane and not overtaking anything, you just can't take any chances with them. Now, we're going to speed it up now. We're not looking at him anymore. He's had his moment of fame. Yeah. We're looking at the good old British workforce again. Yep, you know it. This has been on the channel before, and I still cannot believe that this sign is still here. It's just wrong. Have you got any signs on your motorways around where you live that are wrong? Just blatantly wrong? And they haven't done anything about it? I'm on the A23 at the moment. I'm just about to go onto the M23. Yes, the M23, which leads down to Brighton. Now, you'll see the sign on the floor in a minute, or on the ground, as people like me to say. We're not going on to the M25. We're going on to the M23. This is wrong. The M23 does... You can get onto the M25 from this road, but you can also get onto a lot of other things from this road. This is the M23, not the M25. I think I've said that enough now. So, further down the M23, yes, the M23, not the M25. So, further down the M23, I want to go back to a comment that I received in one of my videos saying, if you're looking at all this stuff, you're not paying any attention to the car in front of you. Now, that car over there, upside down, I didn't see, because I was concentrating on the two cars in front of me, because I'm about to overtake the car on my left, and I want to keep a fair distance away from the car that is in front of me in my lane. So, when we go to the rear camera now, you'll see the car is still upside down, like it's going to move in a few seconds. It's still upside down, but everyone looks okay, and there doesn't look to be any panic there anyway. But what I did notice here, which made me review this, was the traffic. Once I looked over there, after I'd passed that car, I saw the traffic, and then I reviewed it when I got home as to what is causing this traffic. Now, during the week, this wouldn't be a problem. This would be always like this traffic. But this is a weekend, early in the morning on a weekend, and it should be free flowing. That's the only reason I actually reviewed that and saw what the problem was. So, we're coming into Reigate for this one, and it's all about queue jumping. Or is it queue jumping? People say you've got to use the whole length of the road and all of that. Well, I think this is queue jumping. This guy coming up on the right hand side here, he doesn't want that lane. He knows he doesn't want that lane. You can tell by the way he shifts over. As soon as we get round here, there's no sign saying where he's got to go there. That's queue jumping. And notice the fake little hazard lights coming on. That's not a thank you. That's I fucked you. And for the final clip of the day, we are going into Gatwick Airport, the North Terminal now for a change. And over to the left hand side there, you'll see that Tesla. Don't worry though. Don't worry, ladies and gentlemen. He is a professional driver. Yes, he is a professional driver. He does this sort of thing for a living. He has got the yellow circle of death in his car, and he is a professional driver. Now, being a professional driver in London, you do not have to have a British driving licence, believe it or not. You can have an EU licence. And how many countries in the EU drive on the left-hand side of the road for a start? And I'll just show you, for all you people that need to go to the airport, where you got to go to drop off. And don't forget to pay your £6 online to drop off, otherwise you will be fined. Yes, that's it. All you got to do is follow the signs and go into here to drop off. Not to pick up, to drop off. I don't know where that Tesla was going. He was probably dropping off, knowing him. There you go. Thanks a lot for watching, guys. I'll catch you on the next one. Bye for now.